Hello, this is how I made $16,655 on Instagram in 1 month as a neurodivergent teacher. This is the system, I call it the Leads to Learners blueprint. So this is what I teach my clients inside the Educator Accelerator coaching program. I teach them how to implement all of these steps so that they can make more money in their online teaching business. And I'm going to walk you through everything here for free in this video. If you are interested in working with me, I will leave a link to my calendar in the caption of this video. Feel free to book a call with me if you want to dive a little deeper on any of this stuff. So let's get to it. We start off by thinking about our potential client. So sometimes that's the learner, sometimes it's the parent of the learner. So we're going to get really specific as to who's the client and who's the learner. Sometimes they're the same person, often they're not. The first thing we do is really get the foundational messaging dialed in. So we want to be really clear on who we help and how we help them. Like, what is the problem that you're solving for your potential client? What's the transformation that your ideal learner is going to see from working with you? So we optimize the Instagram bio. We create content for that person, content that speaks to their pain points and their desires. You want to let them know that your method, your teaching is for them. They don't really care if you have a class at Thursdays at 3 unless they know why they should be in that class. So we're not making posts about your schedule. We're not making posts about your specific offers. We're talking about the problems that working with you will solve for those learners and for their parents potentially. So once we have your foundational messaging really clear, really locked in, we know who we're serving and how, then we create one growth ad. So I have a tried and true script where we kind of plug in the specifics of what you do. And the syntax is something that works really well across all subjects. I've had lots of different teachers try this out, and they all see tremendous automatic growth as soon as they put out this one boosted reel. So we start off there. And the reason that we do this is because your business changes when you have leads coming to you. If you're still doing like the Facebook groups self-promo Sunday, you are wasting your time and energy. Those groups are super saturated. And if you're going to find a buyer in there, it's somebody who is probably looking for a deal, who's not super committed. Maybe they're just going to take like your free trial class and then you'll never hear from them again. It's because that space is not where your ideal learners are hanging out. So we put out a growth ad, which results in people who are interested in your content coming to your page. And if they are interested enough, they are going to follow you. So this is where my little ADHD brain is like, okay, that's a lead. There's no kind of complex funnel here. Like, as soon as somebody follows me, that is their way of saying, they're putting up their hand, they're saying, hey, looks like you can maybe help me with this problem that I have. So right there, I consider somebody a warm lead. So once they are following, that's kind of the way that they opt into your world. We use a couple of different types of content to nurture them. So it takes quite a bit of trust building, especially when you're working with kids, to go from like random Instagram stranger to like, yeah, I'm going to give you my kid and my credit card. It takes a little bit of time there. So the way that we nurture people into feeling ready to work with us is by using different types of content. So reels are great for giving your audience information that they maybe don't have yet. So you're going to, again, talk about pain points, desires, mistakes they're making, misconceptions that they have, all the things, that they want and they're currently not able to get on their own. Stories is a slightly different type of content. So stories only hang out on your page for 24 hours unless you highlight them. And what's unique about stories is this is the spot on Instagram where you can put a clickable or tappable link. So if you have curriculum downloads, things that aren't really service-based, like if it's just a digital product, your stories are a good spot to sell them because the price point is typically lower and you don't really need to qualify people. Make sure they're a good fit for your service if you're just giving them a PDF. So you can do some light selling in your stories. And then YouTube and or other long form content. So you could possibly do this as like a podcast or a blog. But long form content is a really powerful tool to convert people. So Instagram is great for reach. You will find the most people using Instagram. But if you can send them to something like a YouTube channel or a podcast, then they're going to be able to get to know you a lot better, a lot quicker. And it's something you can do in a systematic way. So you don't have to sit down with each and every person who comes in contact with your stuff, but they can listen to you and hear how you teach and hear about your unique methods and why they should work with you. And it's kind of on repeat because it's pre-recorded and all you have to do is link them to your YouTube video. And then DMs and calls are a huge piece of creating trust as well as qualifying your leads. So this is probably the biggest mistake I see from teachers is that they are not DMing their new followers, which is really hard to know why people have opted into your world if you don't talk to them. So it's a bit like if you had a storefront and somebody walked into your store, you would say, "Hey, how can I help you today?" Very similar mentality on Instagram. If somebody follows you, they've done so for a reason. And as the professional in this situation, it is your job to reach out and figure out what that reason is. If you're waiting for them to come to you, you are losing out on a ton of money. And the way that you approach this is important too. So my client, Joe, before we were working together, he was DMing his new followers, but he was sending them a textbook of an opening message. It was like a huge long paragraph, and his response rate was 2%. So the first thing that we did was change that opening message. And with just that one tweak, we took his response rate overnight from 2% to 48%. So that can be a big lever that you can pull. Sending a quality opening DM could double or triple your business without changing anything else. So at some point in this nurture cycle, you will make a sale. It likely will be through a DM chat or on a call, or perhaps you'll post something for sale in your stories and you will have a buyer. So at that point, all you need to do is fulfill the class or deliver the product. There are two big reasons why you don't want to be doing all of your class fulfillment on a marketplace. So the first one is marketplaces tend to take a huge cut of your earnings. So if you sold $10,000 worth of classes in a month, you would only be making something like $7,000, depending on the marketplace that you're using and the fees that they charge. So it is scary to be paying like a lot of fees that way that you could be putting into your own growth ads. And you still have no control over that marketplace and the policies that they might implement or any kind of changes that they might bring in. Really scary to have your business 100% built inside someone else's marketplace. It's scary because you don't have any control over that. Like, if I needed to make more money next month, I would turn up my Instagram ads and I would have more leads coming in and I would have more people to sell to. There's no way I can do that on a marketplace. So I don't have control of my business, and I'm paying a lot of fees to continue operating that way. Just for full transparency, of my $16,655, that was my August earnings, August 2024. Of that, only $4,896.24 was from a marketplace. So using this blueprint, the Leads to Learners blueprint, I was able to more than triple my marketplace income. And I've diversified my income sources enough that if this marketplace were to disappear tomorrow, I would still be able to pay my bills and live my life. So here are a couple of examples of clients of mine who have run these growth ads and have seen tremendous changes in their business because of them. So here's one from Sean. He said he's enjoying the program. It's nice after 6 months of posting organically, relentlessly, and not gaining hardly any followers or garnering interest that I'm now having conversations with potential parents. And he was able, spending only 4 British pounds per day, he brought in 35 followers in just 3 days. So these ads don't have to be expensive to be effective. Here's another example from Charlie. So she collected 50 British pounds just 25 days into the program, having launched an ad. So she charged this learner 80 pounds for the first month. And at the point that she did that, she had only spent $21.96 on the ad. So that gives her a 2.3 to 1 cash return on her ad spend because she's collected $50, but her revenue was, pounds. Her revenue was 80 pounds. So her revenue ROAS was actually 3.6 to 1. So for every pound that she spent on this ad, she made back 360. So you can see how quickly a good ad can bring in a return if you have a solid sales process behind it. That is much, much more important than what you actually spend on the ad. So that is the system. And if you do want some support implementing this, shoot me a DM on Instagram or book a call with me with my calendar link below, and I can definitely help you figure out what this blueprint would look like in your business and how you can grow your online teaching business using simple tools. No website, no email marketing, no ManyChat, no ConvertKit. There's lots of fancy tools out there, but none of them are going to give you the security and the peace of mind of actually learning how to set sales, set appointments, get on sales calls, and book clients. Hope that was helpful. And you know where to find me if you need some more info.